My daughter's voice was like ice. We leave for Milan in the morning, Mother. I took the liberty of selling the lake house. But she had no idea who she was really dealing with. My name is Clara Westwood. I'm 73. And that phone call in the cardiologist's waiting room, it was the final betrayal. For 47 years, my world was my family. Then, 6 months after burying my Henry, my only child, Elise, decided I was just clutter to be cleared away. She'd been so attentive after her father passed, helping with paperwork, suggesting doctor visits. You have to be careful now you're on your own, she'd say. I mistook calculation for compassion. That lakeside cottage wasn't just property. Henry and I bought it the year she turned 16, every brick paid for, with overtime and sacrifice. Summers were filled with her laughter. Then later, her husband Leo's empty compliments. I cooked, I cleaned, I kept the tradition alive. And my car, Henry's vintage sedan, he polished every Saturday. His scent still lingered in the upholstery. She sold it all, told me I'd receive a fair portion. When she hung up, a cold stillness settled over me. No tears, just clarity, because in that moment, I remembered. 3 days before his heart failed, Henry pressed a small, locked box into my hands. For when you're ready, my love, not a moment before. Grief had buried the memory. Now it screamed at me. The doctor said my heart was strong for my age. I barely heard him. All I could think about was that box and the absolute certainty in Elise's cold tone. I took the bus home. She'd sold my car, after all. The irony wasn't lost on me. She believed she'd left me destitute. But Henry, dear, quiet Henry, was always 3 steps ahead. The house was too quiet. I went straight to the bedroom closet. There it was. My fingers fumbled with the simple latch. Inside wasn't just a letter. It was a revelation. Deeds, bank books, share certificates, a life I never knew we had. His handwriting filled the page. My dearest Clara, if you read this, I've gone ahead. Forgive my secrecy, but I wanted your peace, not your worry. He detailed investments made over decades. The lake house was just a weekend place. We owned the entire downtown plaza, including the luxury apartment building where Elise and Leo lived. A boutique hotel, a quiet fortune, all held in a trust one now controlled. Henry's note ended with a warning. Our girl loves conditionally. Let her love you for your heart, not your portfolio. The cruel truth of those words stole my breath. He built a fortress of wealth to protect me from a poverty of the heart. So, what do you do when your own child thinks you're a helpless old woman? You decide to teach the lesson they skipped. I smiled for the first time in months. Elise called the next day, voice sweetened by guilt. Mother, your share is deposited. It should cover a nice little rental for a year. We're off to chase Leo's sure thing in Italy. I thanked her, wished her well. I watched from my window as a cab took them to the airport, never looking back at my house. Then, I dialed Henry's old attorney, Mr. Alden. We can sue for fraud, Mrs. Westwood, he stated after reviewing the documents. That sale was illegal. No lawsuit, I said. I want it back, quietly. And I want control of all my assets, especially that apartment building. And I need a favor. Find Leo's debts. The pieces began to move. Mr. Alden was efficient. The lake house was returned. The buyers were refunded. I became a phantom in my own life, the pitted widow by day, the silent executive by afternoon. My neighbor, Martha, would bring soup, her eyes full of sympathy. How will you manage, dear? If only she knew. Weeks passed. The eviction notice was prepared to be delivered upon their return. I didn't have to wait long. Aurora, the building manager I'd quietly instructed, called. They're back, ma'am. Just your daughter. One suitcase. The husband didn't return. It seems Leo's European venture was a facade for his mountains of debt. He'd vanished, leaving Elise holding the lies. Her call came at dawn, frantic. "Mother, something's wrong. I've been ordered to vacate my home. It's from some company, I don't know, Henry Holdings." The name was his final touch. I let the silence hang. "I don't understand it either, darling," I whispered. She arrived at my door, a ghost of her former self. Expensive clothes rumpled, eyes hollow. "He left me," she choked out. "There was no business, just debts. And now this," she collapsed into a chair. "Can I stay here? Just until I sort this out." The student was ready for the lesson. "Of course," I said, embracing the daughter who discarded me. "This is your home." She moved into her old room, a woman stripped of everything, including her pride. She found a job, night cleaning at a corporate office. She'd come home exhausted, her hands raw, but with a new, grim determination. One evening, she found a second, smaller box Henry had hidden, a key to a safe deposit box. Inside, family heirlooms. "We could sell them," she said, eyes on the debts. "Pay off what we can." Was she about to trade the last of her history for a liar's mistakes? "Think carefully, Elise," I cautioned. She sold most, keeping only my wedding band. I watched her learn the weight of a dollar earned, not given. Mr. Alden's investigation concluded. Leo's fraud was proven. Elise was legally free of his obligations. The stage was set. I invited her to a meeting with a pro bono lawyer. In Mr. Alden's office, I watched her read the documents. Confusion, shock, dawning horror. She looked from the papers to me. "You own my building. You've always owned it." Her voice was a ghost. "You knew everything. While I was cleaning floors, you were—" "I was waiting," I said, calm as deep water. "Waiting for you to remember who you are, who we are. True wealth isn't counted in banknotes, but in the strength of your comeback." The silence that followed was the loudest of my life. Then she didn't cry. She nodded, a slow, heavy understanding settling in. "You let me fall so I'd learn to stand." It wasn't a question. I couldn't give you the answer. "Elise, you had to find it yourself." She didn't quit her job. She kept cleaning, saving, rebuilding her credit on her own terms. She enrolled in school for financial counseling, wanting to help others avoid her cliffs. We turned the lake house into a retreat for women rebuilding their lives. The circle was complete. Justice wasn't a courtroom. It was a transformation. She needed to lose everything to find what was priceless. And I got my daughter back, not the entitled stranger, but a resilient, humble woman I'm proud to call my own. Henry's fortune bought security, but this lesson, this forged a bond no one can ever sell. If this story of quiet strength and second chances resonated with you, please show some love. Hit that like button. It truly helps at Urban Tales _41 bring you more powerful tales. And tell me in the comments, what's the most valuable lesson a parent ever taught you? I read every one. Don't forget to subscribe. There are more unforgettable journeys waiting for you here. Until next time.